There are companies that help you cheat with AI, and then there are companies that help you identify whether someone has cheated with AI.
The same with recruiting. They make AI resumes, and then they screen for AI resumes.
The entire thing with AI is it's a great way to sink money and power and compute into a war with itself that produces no value, right?
Wow.
And so, like, we should just follow it to its logical conclusions.
Well, hello, friends. Welcome to this week's More or Less. How's it going, Morins?
The quad returns.
The quad is back.
Guys, I put some visual effect on Riverside, and I can't trick it off. So now my head's going to be all blurry.
Your head looks very bubbly.
Wait, how do you do it?
It's like a
I
fisheye.
can't now.
You look normal to me.
While recording, visual effects can't be changed.
Well, the people will need to tune into our video stream to see what Sam looks like today.
You look normal to me.
My hair's all blurry. How's my food I'm eating? Is that blurry?
Oh my God, every episode.
All right, onward.
Okay, onward, guys. We're back. It's after Labor Day. All the children in school. And
Finally.
tech is continuing to fire. We've got the long-awaited decision in
Continue
Google.
to fire all the employees and get profitable.
Zing.
Get profitable. Remember when there was that period when tech companies were writing blog posts about getting profitable? But we've had a Google trial. We have M&A coming back. We have a new editor of Vogue, which I promised is related to other topics.
Wait, what?
OpenAI is paying $300,000 for content strategists.
I saw that.
In terms of hiring. That's great.
And an OpenAI acquisition this week.
What does a content strategist at OpenAI do?
What does a content strategist ever do? Nothing. But like, they're the people who write the copy. And the joke is, if OpenAI is hiring the people to write the copy, the AI must not be working very well yet.
Yeah, no kidding.
No shit. That's
great joke.
Wait, what we got that? Okay, what else? We've got the US Open. We have...
God, I love tennis Twitter.
We haven't debriefed on Taylor Swift's engagement yet, which we should do.
I was figuring there would have been like ample
We did
debriefs.
it on the last episode,
Brett,
but you guys were gone. I haven't done it with you. No, we can save it for the end.
Okay.
PCC.
Taylor Swift got engaged?
And she did it by Chrome, guys, it turns out.
Okay. So I have CNBC up in the office because TITV is only an hour a day. Stay tuned. More coming. And I see the cryon, like the bottom third going across. And it's some executive talking about how Taylor and Travis have rekindled love. And I think it was like the founder of Zales or the CEO of Zales.
Oh my God.
It was on Kramer. And I was like, oh my God, the world is really shifting into entertainment.
Was that just a branded content interstitial on CNBC?
No, this was Jim Cramer's show interviewing the CEO of Zales about
I bet he got paid for that. They got paid for that.
True. That's true. Right. That's
the anti-Kramer index is almost perfect. So like that means short sales.
Yeah, totally.
Brent, I have one question for you. Is Taylor playing at the Super Bowl?
Well, thank you for asking. This was going to be my pop culture corner today.
We got right to it. Okay.
NFL commissioner was on the Today Show this morning.
I just want your opinion.
He got a direct question and he said, maybe. All I'm saying is it wasn't a no. That's all I'm saying. It was solid eyebrow raise.
You know what my bet is? My bet's a no. And here's why.
She's at this point, it just looks uncool. And
I think it's uncool. And I think the audio always sucks. Like that Super Bowl halftime show when they broadcast it, it's always like a terrible performance they broadcast, right? And so I think Taylor is too smart to do the halftime show. Right?
I think there's a chance she could have done it, and there's still a chance she will. And I followed all the Easter eggs and all that. But like,
and she's not going to slip a nip. You know, like it's not like
no, it'll be perfect. It's 3 months after her album, so people will have memorized the lyrics. It's the 60th Super Bowl. It's Travis's last season.
Wouldn't it have been more like Taylor likes a surprise? Taylor's not going to like other people announcing her things.
I also think, by the way, she's going to do the Sphere. This is the other big rumor.
No
and then we can
way.
move to yes.
No, that's all way too gimmicky.
No,
yeah,
I know,
she
but
doesn't need to do the Sphere.
There have now been multiple reports about this in the back channels, guys.
No, people. You know why? People also don't. People don't like doing the Sphere because the problem with the Sphere is you have to pre-program it. So you have to do the same show over and over, which is like totally not her style.
I don't know, man. That's like what the Eras tour was.
I know.
In that interview she gave,
In
she
the
talked
order?
specifically about how the thing about doing tours is you literally live the same day, like Groundhog Day, over and over again.
I don't know. What
the
do I
eras
know?
don't change. Okay, I'm going to end this segment by saying there's one concert that I have put my reminders on about, and it's Benson Boone coming. This is my. I was going to invite you guys. I have tickets.
I don't have tickets yet.
Okay,
I would love
you're
to go
coming
with you.
me, Dave. You can also come, unless
I'm
I do
totally
a girls'
in.
trip.
wanna-
Give me a week to decide
love
if we're
Benson
going girls
Boone.
or not, guys. There's no vocalist close to on par with him.
He's very good.
But I thought you didn't like his new album.
You know, I didn't the first time, and now I love it. And that's how music grows on you. And I listen to it every day. And I also listen. One of the things he's doing on this tour is he's doing covers because he doesn't have that much, repertoire. And
Really? His canon's not that long
He only
yet.
has
I thought he
one
had a ton
album
of-
out.
well,
No.
maybe he has
two.
two, but his Adele when we were young
Yeah, it was pretty
makes
amazing.
me cry every time. And then this morning I discovered this is my commute. This is what I do. His Shallow is also
Ooh,
excellent.
solid.
And you don't get the full vocal range until that I'm of the deep end, that part. But like, it's just so
I didn't
good.
know
So
Jess had pipes.
Culture is coming to San
She was
Francisco.
a madrigal.
I can sing, Dave.
Let's do this.
And
A more or less band.
I hope that this is just part of this. Can we call this like the Great San Francisco Fall? Can we just like name it?
Yeah.
Like I'm so excited.
It's so good.
Guys, you're going to go to the Super... Are you going to go to the Super Bowl?
We're going to go to the
Of-
Super Bowl. We already
of
have it hooked
course.
up. Yeah.
I have to figure out how to hook that up.
We can get...
We got you.
We talk
You
later.
get me Benson, I get you Taylor at the Super Bowl.
That's actually an amazing trade, Jess. You should take that all day long. It's like that Super Bowl ticket is like 20 times more expensive than the Benson Boone ticket. So I would
At
take that
least.
trade.
At least.
I'm a good friend.
This is great. Lessons are going to the Super Bowl, and sorry, they're testing our alarm system for some reason. If you,
You're sure that's not Sam adding Kramer sounds?
I
to the
actually know what
podcast?
that-
what
you know
are
what that
they
is?
doing?
I'll tell you what they're doing. So
Okay.
they're finally finishing our effing pool. And in order to finish the renovation, they need to have an inspection where for some reason you need to put alarms on all the doors for like the inspector. I don't really understand
So
it, but that's
random.
what they're doing.
This is a nightmare.
Random.
A great national nightmare is coming to an end. Okay. With the pivot, I have a lot of media thoughts, guys, that I just want to warn everyone
Let's
in case
go.
you need like a media exposure thing. But let's do a little appetizer of AI M&A just to check that box. And then we'll move to the substance. So Brent, tell the people what happened this week that caught your eye.
Guys, this is monumental. We have not seen a lot of M&A activity for years, despite everyone thinking it was coming. And now, this week, we surpassed the amount of capital that's been spent on acquisitions for the first time since 2021, which, as you recall, was the last bubble that we were in. So currently, there have been 150 completed AI acquisitions, surpassing $33.8 billion, which is the
100 and what?
combined 150. This is the combined volume of the past 3 years, all this year. So
For only 30 billion? What is that? What are we talking about?
Yes, U.S. software companies have spent nearly $33.8 billion on 150 completed AI acquisitions, surpassing the combined volume of the past
doesn't that
3
mean,
years.
Sorry, what am I missing? Oh, 30. So the average price is 200 million. It's kind of lame.
No, I think some of them were really low and some of them were
of
really
course.
high.
If it's 150 and 30 billion, and there was like $5 billion ones, and the average other price is like $12.
Sam can only think in Mag 7.
More than AI drove the trend. Google's $32 billion deal for cloud security startup Wiz and Global Payments' $24 bid for payments company WorldPay has contributed to the volume of tech M&A this year. This is from The Information, Jess. Have you read this
I know.
article?
I'm like, this sounds really, guys, it just all blurs. It all blurs. You know, when people post screen, you see like an X post and like someone's like, outrageous. And then you're just like, oh, is that my font? Are they highlighting an information article?
So the difference is, okay, I'm decoupling
It's good to
this
have a
in real
font.
time. So, okay, the $541 billion, is all the transactions. 34 billion of them are AI acquisitions.
So like that's a tiny percentage. So it's less than 10%.
Crazy small.
Still, the amount of M&A overall is more than it was even in 2021.
But doesn't like the half acquisition of scale AI completely skew that number as well?
Or like the half acquisition of everything else.
Oh, so, numbers.
Oh, numbers.
Oh, numbers. You're so silly.
M&A is up. That's all we're saying, right?
Well, here's what I want to know, though, because I guess I'm in this business. But like, I'm wondering how the bankers feel because like...
They're so happy. They're just making money on nothing.
So much money.
But our banker, like if Meta buys, what do they buy 49% of scale? Like, do they hire bankers for that?
No, banker make nothing.
Yeah, banker make nothing.
Are you sure? I feel like bankers get paid 7% on everything.
Even on a half acquisition?
Sure.
I don't think so because these bankers called me afterwards and they said, Scale should have hired me. Or should have hired us. They would have made more money.
That's what they always say. Bankers are like real estate agents. Should have hired me. Got a buyer tomorrow.
Yeah. I just don't know how much money you make with like a 49% acqui-hire licensing deal. I don't know. This is what I'm trying to find out. Call me.
So
Kim, call me.
Bankers, in my experience, have always made more money than you think they do in weird ways.
I agree.
It's like, you tip the team. It's like bankers make less than lawyers now, which is always my favorite fact, which is kind of a great statement of the moment, which is like the world's transparent enough and everything is about legal warfare. And so the lawyers are making more than the bankers, which I think is just, again, hilarious. And like exactly what happened before the French Revolution. But the bankers they figure out how to get paid on this stuff.
I think lawyers started making more money like a while ago.
In like the last 5 years. Years. Which is again, like this, like that's the beginning of the end.
Who do you think will make more money 5 years from now? Bankers or lawyers?
Lawyers. No question.
Like lawyers are just going to crush it.
Guys, you know who's made a lot of money? The Google
That's a
lawyers.
Tough question. Yeah, totally.
The Google lawyers. I mean, other big headline of the week. So we had previously, I don't know, regulatory months are like dog years. I don't keep track of them. But DOJ brought a case against Google as being anti-competitive in search. There are many antitrust cases, but this was the big kahuna. At stake was its ability to pay for distribution, aka the Apple deal, also whether it was going to have to spin off Chrome and Android. The initial ruling found Google as a search monopoly. We were waiting for the remedies. Judge came out and said, you can keep Chrome. You can keep your Apple deal. Yeah, you have to give some of your web crawling to competitors. But basically, like, I've read this thing now several times and am very impressed what a clear win this is for Google.
It's pretty wild, actually.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, my phone was lighting up being like, what just happened? You know, like we were supposed to be, or there was a narrative probably set by the media that tech's big reckoning moment was coming. Google actually lost this. Like the initial finding was as a monopoly. And the remedies, the judge even chastised the DOJ for requesting Chrome to be spun off, saying that was such an extreme move and that the other remedies they were asking for would have like crippled the industry. And the highlight of it all is that they said Gen AI changed the game and changed the competitive landscape. And so here we have big tech that's been saying for years and years that next big competitor is just around the corner. And the judge is like, yep, they do. So I mean, Brett, you're a former Googler, but like, what did you make of this?
Well, we do have good lawyers at Google, I'll have to say, even though I haven't been there a long time. I think this is, do you think this is like a back channel Sundar Trump alliance spins all the way down into, I don't know. I don't know where this is coming from, but I do think Google has great lawyers, to your point. And I didn't hear the part about how the competition has changed. That makes a lot of sense. But now it feels like everyone's going to use that. Meta's going to use that. Apple's going to use that. So
I mean, it's true. It's actually has the benefit of being true. I mean, we all use Chat GPT, a lot. But yeah, it was pretty wild. I was talking about it on TITV with Amir, who was my second hire at The Information, but who covered Google after I did at the Wall Street Journal. So we've been collectively covering Google for 20 years. And he was like, Sundar needs to buy Sam a beer.
Well, but more than a beer. I mean, the stock is up, 10%? on this news, which is on a $2.7 trillion. It's like $270 billion. So what's amazing is that basically it's added half an OpenAI because of OpenAI.
Yeah, no, this is true.
It's so crazy. Like the DOJ got out-lawyered by the people with the best lawyers, and the real kicker is the court saying, "Don't worry, AI will save us." And we've all been waiting for the invisible hand of competition, and it turns out the invisible hand is ChatGPT.
Yeah,
it's visible. It's the visible
hand.
It's
not clear to me that Chrome should have been. I mean, Dave, were you suggesting that you think the court should have made more drastic requests of Google?
I mean, I did not read the entire thing. I did read the part where the court was writing its opinion about this competition point. And it was so casual that it was almost comedy, right? Like it was like, well, it appears as though AI has reset the stakes in competition. So let's just like see how that goes. Yeah. And it's like, wait, isn't this the highest court in the land? Like, isn't this like a actual, almost, like a pretty serious conversation that we were supposed to be having? It just seemed so casual.
He reserved the right to change his mind too. And I'm not sure that's how the legal process works. But I mean, obviously new cases could be brought. Yeah,
sure.
Well, it's fascinating. I'm still trying, and my team's still trying to get to the bottom of like the implications of this data sharing. Like, obviously the chat bots have all been trying to build web crawlers and search engines, and that's a big part of being able to answer some queries. But I don't know. I just don't. I think you're just like popping champagne in Mountain View right now. And there are other cases, but this was the big kahuna. And for Apple too, they're popping champagne in Cupertino, you know? They would have had like a more complex series of decisions to make if this deal went away.
It's just so crazy. The government's like, never mind, AI will handle capitalism for us.
What does this mean that the big tech companies can get away with if they believe that they are not going to get antitrust violations? Like, are there like other types of acquisitions or, things they should be going after?
So I think this is the question.
This is just like actually the legal system working.
Yeah. I don't think there was like the government had the wool pulled over their eyes, right? These are complicated things. And the argument that there's always a new competitive service one click away is true. That's the benefit of it. Like,
it's true over the long arc of history, right? And I guess that's kind of what this actually says, which is that, you can kind of go 10, 20 years behaving like this, and sooner or later, something will come along in the long term, right? But in the meantime, kind of do whatever you want.
Also, I could get this wrong, but I think Amir said the initial decision came down like ChatGPT was like 6 months old. And then we get the remedy. Like, this is just like the pace of it. But Britt, I like your question. And I was wondering this and posed it to my team today too. What now will Google do that it wasn't doing before?
Yeah, there has to be some green lights that just turned on.
They just buy everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They're going to buy Perplexity, guys. No.
More M&A activity.
I'm just kidding. I don't think it changes anything.
I don't. I also think we had a story today about Google.
I mean, maybe it will make the Gemini user experience better because they can deeply integrate it with the phone and not care, or Chrome and not care.
Yeah, there are probably like a couple menu clicks that can go away, or maybe a couple like exposure notices. But well, it was an exciting decision. We wait for these.
You do have to wonder whether or not Microsoft and Google, these companies that have, I mean, Microsoft obviously had super real, like actual remedies levied against it, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think they were already pretty incompetent user experience before that, but you have to wonder how much that damaged the user experience of Windows over the ensuing years. I mean, every time I've opened up a Windows computer, which is like once a year today, it's just unbelievable how bad it is.
Guys, my Skype account, they still think my Skype account is like my one account, like is my Microsoft account. And every time I have to log in to download like Excel on a new computer, I want to die.
For years, my Microsoft account has been locked in Indonesian. So like clearly I was hacked at some point. I don't care because I don't really use it. And like it's set to Indonesian. And then like rather than try to figure out, I just basically use a plugin and translate it back to English so I can use it. But Microsoft continues to think that I'm an Indonesian scammer.
Do you have like Excel files that were stolen, Sam?
No,
What
who
happened?
uses that shit? No one uses it. It's fine. The Indonesians can have that account.
Like all finance people use Excel still.
Yeah, but I'm a venture capitalist. I don't do finance.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I haven't done finance
God.
since Bain. Since we were buying
You do
regional.
finance.
Since we were buying regional casinos.
Yeah.
That's a whole
I'm
different story.
finance chair lead for our kids' school grade. And I told my kids and they looked at me like,
There's a finance
Are you
chair for
capable?
your like second grade school.
I'm the
Class?
first grade finance chair. Yeah, of course.
First
you
grade
talking
finance
about?
chair.
Of
This is a
Please put
perfect
that on
Twitter
your
bio.
LinkedIn
Yeah, this
profile.
is like a
Oh my
perfect
God.
Twitter bio.
I don't even know if I'm still allowed to reveal that information. I'd say like in 9 WhatsApp groups. The only problem with this, I'm so in
How's the
favor of-
antitrust suit against our preschool going?
yeah, I know. But the problem is they want to create another WhatsApp group for the school finance leads. And guys, I don't
This
know
is
if I
what
can do
schools are great
another.
at.
I don't think I can do another WhatsApp.
Schools are
group.
great at WhatsApp group number go up, you know?
Did you guys, have you ever formed a WhatsApp community for the grade
Oh,
of your
yes.
children's school?
That happened last year.
We
Oh, God.
I think we're going to shut it down. We successfully stopped the
works.
Discord channel, and now we're going to
Discord for your school?
This
That's
is a
crazy.
techie school.
You know you live in Silicon Valley.
We
when-
shouldn't go into this for the sake of our children. But that was one of the most wild debates I've ever seen.
Oh my God. Anonymous parents.
Oh, I know.
No, it was not anonymous. It was a bunch of parents
Yeah,
arguing
we
that
won't reveal names. We won't do
it
that.
was unbelievable.
I actually think the parents should be anonymous and just see what kind of havoc breaks loose in a Discord. Parents would go psycho.
It's pretty intense. I have to remind everyone what stays in the WhatsApp group. What goes in the WhatsApp group stays in the WhatsApp group. But okay, so we have AI, M&A, we have Google. Is there anything else that's happening in tech?
Anthropic raised again. Their Iconic led the round.
How is it okay for these companies to stay private? That's my real question.
Dave,
Like-
look at Silicon Valley. What are you
I
talking
understand, but like these companies being private until like whatever it is, what was it, $160 billion
170.
valuation?
about? I mean, look at SpaceX.
And the other thing that I'm hearing is that the in the back channels, you've got the LPs of funds with primary positions in Anthropic selling derivatives, and then
Yeah.
their LPs selling derivatives. There's like many derivatives being sold across the
Yeah.
entire Anthropic equity chain.
They're trying to stop it.
Why is this? Because they're not public. And it's totally ridiculous that a company can be this valuable and have this much demand and ice out the retail investor and like the rest of the country, right? Like I just think it's kind of nonsense, and that there should be actually a threshold at which you're required to go public. And I mean, seems like $100 billion valuation is a reasonable take on that. 10 billion might even be reasonable, but it's just a little bit, I think, unfortunate that, this is all happening in the private market and things are getting so weird and crazy.
I like this line. Okay, so Sam, should there be a valuation-based threshold for being a public company? Yay or nay, and why?
I mean, clearly nay. But like, why? Because
Explain.
People will just play games with it. You'll just all of a sudden have 50 companies that have
Or
contracts with
99,
each other. They're all I think all these arbitrary rules end up getting hacked around anyway by overpriced lawyers. So I just think it's the simpler the better. I mean, I agree with you, Dave, that there's kind of derivatives and all sorts of games being played. But I guess the flip side to all of it is, look, in the end of the day, if sophisticated actors want to do ridiculous things and they're not going to go bankrupt and people can't eat because of it, let them do it. What, who cares, right? I think that the whole point of the public market, which I do believe intellectually makes sense, is there should be some degree of if you're buying our asset, there's a rep that it's real and actually worth that, right? And I just don't know, the valuation line just seems somewhat arbitrary. This is, I like Anthropic. It has $5 billion in revenue, and I'm sure incinerates cash. Just because some yahoos are willing to pay a $180 billion valuation on that, right? Because they love to dream.
And Google and Amazon own a very significant portion.
Yeah,
of it.
and if they're willing to play those games and take those risks, and they understand it could go to zero, more power to them. I'm not sure. I think the whole point of the public market is there's some level of accounting transparency and a bunch of other stuff that go along with it. And if you don't if you want to sign up for that for the liquidity, great. If you don't, and you only want to raise from people who are big kids, and when they lose all their money, it's their own damn fault. Meh. I just think it's fine. I do think that what's happened, honestly, is that on the flip side, which we can argue about, is like everything going back to Sarbanes-Oxley, and like the public markets have just become too fucking annoying for anyone to want to deal with. And so everyone's like, why would I deal with the public markets? Right. And like, there's plenty of private money. So like, then there's nothing goes public. Like that I agree with. But I don't know that there should be like some sort of like, what you're saying when it's basically forced public is you're forcing specific types of accounting and disclosures publicly. And like, that feels very communist to me.
Yeah, I guess that's not the maybe it's the internet capital markets, crypto loving part of me that is looking at this and just going, why is all of this volume trading in the private market? It's like all these crazy, weird back channel shenanigans. It would just be so much easier for everybody if you wanted to take a position in Anthropic, you could just do it. And it wasn't all of this kind of nonsense in the back channels. And part of me also just thinks it's really unfortunate that the retail trader can't access this growth, right? Like people love AI. These companies are important. It's an important era. I suppose you can access it by buying NVIDIA in the public market, but I don't know. Like I always look back to the fact that Amazon, Microsoft, these companies went public when they were worth $500 million, right? And the retail everyman could access the wave, right? And like we've basically iced out and kind of made that impossible for the everyday investor. And I think that's just a really unfortunate.
I obviously agree with that.
I want to know what Britt wants to think.
I
want to know what Britt
along
thinks.
to what Sam is saying, whereas I don't think it's valuation that's the threshold. I think it's revenue. And it has to be a real business. And I think the problem with AI right now is people are like, these are kind of fake businesses, or at least like fake valuations that are just random numbers that are being directed at who can win the deal. And so like if there was 10 billion in revenue as the threshold for a company to go public, that would make much more sense to me, because it would indicate there's like,
but even revenue, it's like, like there's lots of ways to make revenue.
Guys, I want to run a massive company and I never want to be public, and I should have that right.
Yeah, because you're an American and you're not a communist.
I'm an American. Like,
so then is it trading
force
volume?
Me to list my company.
Is it trading volume?
Or like number of shareholders? Or, I mean, Dave, I think what you can do is crack down on some of the secondary, like you can create more pressure. The pressure for liquidity has been alleviated by secondaries and all these instruments, right? And the companies are trying to clean up their cap tables, so to speak. But I think they're also not trying to clean up their cap tables because they need the money. So it's like, I mean, the sums where, I don't know, maybe it will come out by the time I've been commissioning this chart that just looks at money raised by year of OpenAI, like very simply, because if you look at it, it gets massively big really fast. And then I think what's taking us some time because we're contrasting that to cash burn, and we need to fill in some gaps in the data. But like every 6 months, OpenAI and Anthropic are just testing the private markets. And at some point, the answer will not come back as here's essentially all this free money. But, you know,
not right now.
Not right now is
I mean, answer. It looks like Anthropic's something like 20x oversubscribed still.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is honestly, it's going to be, I said this years ago about something unrelated, which is like, there's only two things that will break the narrative. Like one is if there's something even better to invest in, right? Like, which is hard to imagine because the story is it's everything, right? Or
maybe something that doesn't lose so much money.
Yeah. But the problem is that something that doesn't lose so much money by definition consumes not so much money. And if it doesn't consume a lot of money, then you can't invest in it, right? And so like that's the thing, like that's the whole trick to this, right? Is like you need something that's both massively capital consumptive and right is like a better story. And like
it's a good point, actually.
It's a hard thing because like
there's almost nothing that satisfies that.
You need like some like things. It would need to be like aliens. Like you need some sort of like because you need something that like warp drives.
Biotech. It needs to be like
maybe, but biotech's really hard. I mean, like the problem is that is the thing is like they've come up with the perfect, but like it doesn't need that much money. The problem is
guys,
like,
it's already done.
Break some news because by the time this comes out, we will have released the Information's Ozempic survey. Okay.
What are their findings?
So
wait.
We surveyed.
This is a hard pivot, but I like it. Let's go with it.
No, you got to follow me. It's worth it. Hold on.
Oh my God.
We had a big piece coming out about founders in Ozempic. And I said, you know what? It needs a data point. Rather than get a fake one from an analyst firm, we decided to get our own data point. So we surveyed our subscribers and our readers. So hundreds of thousands of people. Although typically you get like thousands who respond to these surveys. And what percentage of respondents are currently taking Ozempic? Britt,
40%.
Dave,
60.
and I should specify
Is this-
macro or micro.
Price is Right rules, like where you go over and you lose.
You know
All
what,
right,
guys?
I'm gonna
It's
stick
like
to 40.
It's 55. Sam
And I think
knows,
it could
okay.
be micro and macro at 40%. I think a lot of people are microdosing.
55. More than 1 in 2
Yep.
respondents.
I
to
won,
the
though. Price is Right rules, Dave.
Information's survey are currently, as of the moment, taking Ozempic.
I think for what it's worth, that's very bearish on Ozempic because they're going to run
Say
out
more.
of people. They're just going to run
No
out
way.
of growth, or like have to dramatically drop pricing.
No way, man. It's got so much
They're already
further to
dropping
grow.
pricing. They just dropped it in half in the last
Okay,
month
give
or
us
two.
the bull case on Ozempic.
I mean, the bull case is just that it's useful not just for, I mean, the weight loss story was the tip of the spear, right? But the actual underlying story, which I've been hearing a lot, is the mental health / inflammation story. I mean, people are solving an enormous number of long-term chronic inflammatory diseases, irritable bowel, ulcerative colitis, these types of arthritic conditions, like basically things where the immune system was causing some kind of low-grade inflammation all over the body. Like, this is changing people's lives. And to me, like, that's actually what's driving the further word of mouth growth amongst, the non-weight loss interested part of the population. And that to me can like go way far into the population, right? Like, we've got an inflammatory condition problem in the United States, largely due to our food system.
Because we eat a bunch of chemicals and oil.
Yeah.
It's like now we can take Ozempic and eat even more oil.
Guys, I think we have
It's the
to come
only
clean
solution.
to the viewer. Is anyone on Ozempic on the pod? No judgment.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
This is the most out of touch we've ever
Just-
been.
I think
Guess we're going to have to try.
I think the survey was biased, though, as I'm thinking about it. Like,
Yeah.
Of course.
well, yeah, the people that answered it would want to tell you that they
Of
were
course,
on it.
there's
especially-
inherent
yeah. So
bias in respondents to surveys,
what
right? Like,
percentage of actual information subscribers do you think are really on
less than 55. But the
Do you
thing is,
think
it's
10 to
massive.
20?
Look, the
This
only
is
way to really
massive.
know, Jess, is you start out, instead of asking people if they're on Ozempic, ask them how much they weigh. And then ask them in 6 months how much they weigh again.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they just sauna'd or ice bathed.
The average weight of an information subscriber is the type of survey I would want to know the answer to.
Sam, do you want to share your funny digital scale experience this week? I think it's funny.
Oh, I'm so
Maybe,
pissed about this. So I have a Garmin digital scale, which I quite like. It tells me nothing important.
Garmin makes a scale.
Yeah, it tells you nothing important other than your weight, and it like thinks I'm obese. It's like you have a 24% body. I'm like, that is just wrong, but like that's fine.
This wasn't the part of the story I was thinking about.
But I love how so forever our little kids wake up in the morning, and because we want them to get, we want them to get bulk up. We're always just like, get on the scale. Let's see how much you
they
weigh.
choose. We do not make our children weigh in. They love the game of it.
But we praise them for their massive weight gains, as we should.
We do, actually, yeah.
We're like, and we tell them to eat more protein. And I'm really annoyed because our oldest kid is now heavy enough. He's like 70 something pounds, which, talk about AI, it's the weight difference to my 170 that Garmin thinks we're the same person. And so it's like, you've lost 100 pounds. And I'm like, you're destroying my data, Lion.
Guys, when like your kids like
first it
ruins
was
your
Spotify, now it's your scale.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now it's like they're taking over our digital.
Although Spotify does have the ability to mute songs out of your algorithm now.
God.
Yeah, no.
which is
And they
very
also
useful.
have family accounts. I mean, they've saw but this, I thought this was so funny. And
It was really quite annoying. I have to buy them their own scale now. In fact, I'll do that right now.
There's always at least one purchase while we're recording.
Okay, well, that's good. Guys, I have had some interesting social media observations in last week I'd like to share. First, Dave, are we on or off social at this moment? Give us the status.
Off.
We're off.
I
Okay.
only use Twitter because that's where venture capitalists talk.
It's
but that's
social media. Okay, so you're not off social media. You're off Instagram.
I'm off Instagram, TikTok, all of the sort of algorithmically driven video slop feeds. I don't touch.
That's speaking of which, the other thing I have to do is re-download TikTok. I was convinced in Paris that I have to be on TikTok again after 4 years.
Why?
No,
Sam
you really
didn't know
don't.
about the Labubu.
I didn't know about a Labubu.
I even knew about Labubu, and I'm
From
not on
what?
TikTok.
How did you learn about Labubu
He
without
has children
TikTok?
that are with it.
People talk about
Well,
it,
guys,
man.
I'm re-downloading it. I can watch, discover, and stream.
I'm telling you, you guys don't need any of this because people just tell you the things anyway.
Okay, but here's my revelation. So I was watching the US Open on ESPN, and it was like, it was waiting for the next match to start. So I start browsing ESPN, and I see that the World Surf League finals are on. And this is shocking to me because I consume a lot of surfing media, and I did not know that it was actually the finals. My favorite surfers taking the year off. There are a lot of things. But if you had asked me 6 months ago, half of my feeds would have been surfing content. And so I saw this, I'm like, how am I surprised by the fact like this is literally the finals of like the whole year? And I had no idea. And I was like, it's because now my entire feed is tennis, just tennis. It is the US Open. And it seems to me that our algorithmic content overlords think I can have one interest at a time.
Yep.
Do you also feel this way?
Oh, yeah. All I get is home porn, house
It
porn.
gives me one thing.
I know.
How are you still interested in house porn? Haven't you seen enough? Like,
I could look at houses and interiors for a really long time, Sam.
See, it's interesting you bring this up because around the time I quit these things, I was thinking about this concept of thin cultures, which is that the feeds for a long time were trying to split you into as many cultures as it possibly could, right? Because you can, like, that makes sense from an advertising perspective, right? Like, you want people to have as many thin cultures. You want to have a very large portfolio of thin cultures that people are not deep in, because that gives you a lot more advertising surfaces to hit them with. And so it's an interesting thing to think about, like how does that, why did that change? Like,
I love that Dave made the smart economic point, and I'm like, I don't like being typecast. You're absolutely right, because clearly the algorithms are just getting narrower and narrower. Like, I'm sure it works. I'm sure that tennis Jessica spends more time than tennis surfing ballet Jessica.
But do you monetize better because you're tennis Jessica?
Well, I have a question. That was my question.
But I'm probably spending more time. I'm so
No, but have you converted on anything, Jess? Have you clicked through and bought stuff that's tennis?
From time to time,
maybe they think that
this
you're like a bigger tennis customer.
It makes me so. I mean, I convert enough off these things, and I probably spend a lot when I do convert. But like, I wonder if it signals more of just like, I mean, obviously they're optimizing for ad revenue, but like time spent or something, and the ad revenue will come because, like, I don't know. Obviously, people are doing it, but I don't like. It's like I'm being told I can only have one hobby, and then because they're so overwhelming, I like literally forget about my other interests.
You forget you have hobbies?
No, but I forgot I like enjoy watching surfing. It's actually horrible to watch.
Maybe you should move to TikTok.
I mean, this is a good treatise as to why I quit, Jess.
Yes,
because I
why
feel
I'm
like
bringing it up here, Dave. You'd see me.
You shouldn't. It's so interesting being largely out of it because you just remember and are interested in the hobbies that you're interested in, and there's no like information diet that's impacting it and skewing your compass, right? Like, and I think that's like, it's interesting because the depth one is not good, the thin one is also not good, right? Like, there's something in the middle where, you know, you can have like your set of interests, be up to date on all of them, and it's great, but being too thin on a ton of things isn't good, and being too deep on one isn't good either.
It sounds like you're describing Ozempic. You don't want to be too skinny, and you don't want to be too chonk.
Well, Sam, I mean, what does this do to the creator economy, right? Because like your thesis on the creator economy is that, you know, there are all these creators in these niche areas that are going to be able to build these bigger businesses than people that are going broad.
Yep.
If the algorithms are ping-ponging back and forth and it's kind of like that much in control of this, like, what does that say?
Well, for me, I think the reality is like on the creator thing, my whole theory is that actually the algorithms can't be important. Like, you have to be an important enough creator, like / community leader, that people will seek you out independently. So maybe you grow a little bit or get exposure through the algorithms, but like,
if they don't? What if Jess's thesis is right, that like the algorithm is so good at taking you deep in one area to the point where it eclipses all of your attention and does make you quite literally forget?
I'm like more optimistic about humans than that. I think there's like the pure entertainment feed that is just like, you know, you're sitting under your red light therapy bed and you listen to some comedy, and you don't give them, it's just like fed to you and it's great. And then there's the like, I'm
Sam,
really into
listen,
fishing.
So connected to the everyman.
Yeah, it's like, you're doing your red light therapy and like,
Sam doesn't pretend to be the everyman, so at least it's endearing. But I guess I wonder, this version of the world, though, might be conducive to create, like, because like, if I've gone from being labeled as like 4 different things, they're just like tennis, and they just serve it up to me. And now I'm following like all these tennis creators.
But I think some of them will stand the test of time and some of them won't. And like, I don't know. I think it's fine. Like, in the end of the day, it's like people need to have areas of like affinity, and a lot of them, you're not seeking them out. They're not real. There's a lot of boobs on the internet. It's like, whatever.
Or are we looking at this all wrong? And is it just that tennis actually achieved product market fit in the modern social media environment in a way that no other sport currently has?
I hard disagree.
I love tennis. It's so small.
It's so small, Dave.
You guys sound so elitist.
Dave, okay, I was lying. Half of my feed is Texas football and half of my feed is house porn. That's like literally Brit's Instagram. And I think football has hit product market fit, especially now that we're in football season. I'm so excited about that. And I'm seeing clips of all the highlights of the games. I'm following the players I care about.
We've discovered that clips are a thing. Highlight
Guys,
reels.
It's just all boring.
Center.
This is all boring. Like, I like tennis.
There's something going on with tennis, though. I mean,
well, I think tennis media is the owner or investor, in a tennis magazine. We have a great rivalry. We have tennis and fashion having some really cool crossover moments, which is creating good Instagram-worthy content.
You guys are just so elitist.
The last couple of years, like, tennis has definitely had a breakout.
I'm not against being elitist. I just like, don't call me elitist, because
tennis has always been big.
Tennis is tiny. I love tennis. But like, I don't know.
Agassi,
in the sports pie chart, it's still very small, Dave.
Yeah, I'm with Britt. Get me some Texan football.
You're from Montana. No one has pro sports in Montana.
I played a ton of tennis growing up.
I'm from Texas, land of actual professional sports like football, baseball, basketball, what most people follow. And yes, tennis is like 1% of people's attention.
That's not inconsistent with what we're saying. I also think there's this broader media point. So I don't know if you guys saw, but there's a new Vogue USA editorial director, Chloe Malley. She is
great name.
I don't know actually how to pronounce
Candice Bergen's daughter.
Candice Bergen's daughter, 39-year-old. She is not stepping into exactly the role of Anna Wintour, but Anna has created editorial directors of the different editions, and she sits on top. But it's a big job, and she is excited to put her stamp on the magazine. Gives an interview to the New York Times, says she wants a smaller audience. And I was like, whoa, hello, started the information 12 years ago on that principle of it mattered who you reached and building a real habit. But I think that's fascinating to hear.
Don't they also have no choice, Jess? I mean, isn't this just them stating the obvious? It's like, nobody reads magazines anymore.
It's not about magazines. It's about what happened with internet media.
Yeah.
Like this, went through this at Brit & Co. Like, you realize that you have to become mass to reach enough people so that you can monetize with advertising. So now you're talking about celebrities and all this random stuff instead of the thing that you're known for, which for Vogue is like elite fashion. And so she's saying, I want to have a smaller audience that will pay me more. I'm even into doing quarterly Vogue magazines. Yep. By the way, I love that she did Dogue, the Vogue for dogs, as like an experiment.
This is not new, Britt, is the point that we're talking about. Like,
but to have a major editorial director saying this publicly in the New York Times.
When I was working on Dwell,
Dave.
We did this, like we shifted to 6 magazines per year, like,
But for Vogue, this is a big deal. This has not been Vogue's MO.
I think it's a big deal she's articulating it.
Here's the reality, is like, everyone was excited about the scale of the internet, right? And then you realize that all your people who are clicking on your things are like fraudsters and Indonesian people with no money and aren't going to buy anything. The whole beauty of like targeted ads and like things like that is you actually, it turns out that like there's only like 10% of the US audience, maybe generously, that buys stuff, right? And so like you just want to be able to like own mind share and wallet share with them. And so it's kind of like,
you really think it's 20 million people
that like actually are buying shit in Vogue from Vogue? Yeah, like optimistically.
I thought you meant stuff in general.
it's like the only buy stuff is I mean, like a lot of everyone buys toilet paper, but I'm saying people have a lot of disposable income to play with. It's like way fewer people than you think, for better or worse. It just is what it is, right? And so like if only 20 million Americans really buy things, and then of that 20 million Americans, it's really only like 3 or 4 that buy a lot of stuff. If you're Vogue, you're like, oh, I can just like own that audience completely, and they love me and they pay a lot for it, and the advertisers care about them, and like no one cares about the rest of America. Again, I'm not saying this is super healthy. I'm not saying that the guillotines won't come out, but I do think from a strictly business perspective, like it's kind of obvious, right? Like that's kind of what you should be doing. And it just turns out the world's a lot smaller than you think it is.
Yeah, but 12 years ago when I did it, people thought I was stupid.
I didn't think you were stupid.
No, I know.
I reveled in all of the clickbait people who thought you were stupid because they're the dumb ones, and you knew that, and I knew that.
Honestly, guys, some days I'm like, I think the information is too big. I think our audience is too big.
And you want to dance on the graves of the people who don't get it.
Brand.
Yeah, Jess, I like it.
No, well, we have pro and we have different. I mean, it's not too big, and we can be much bigger. But like, there is a. I think it's very healthy for industry leaders like the editor Vogue just to be articulating this way. And like, I remember every year I gather a group of editors together to compare notes, and everyone submits their question, like their biggest questions facing them in running their newsrooms. And last year was the first time I saw the question, have we just overestimated the size of our audiences, and that we fundamentally like have to think about this differently? And
for sure.
Yeah, it sparked a good conversation.
And your business model. You can't be an ad-based business.
Own a niche, tax it deeply.
Well,
right? Like, that's what it comes down to.
Like, look, but this goes back to the creator thing, why it's all about creators with deep loyalty in specific segments with people who are going to spend and like are actually valuable customers. It's also in deep contrast to everyone getting all excited about like OpenAI having 500 bajillion users, because you're like, those like 95% of those are just going to lose you money. Right? Like those are not like the people using
they got to launch an ads business.
The therapy bot that like you're going to talk to forever because you're crazy and like are lonely is like a terrible business model. And so like I think that's the interesting thing in the moment is like smart businesses understand where the value is from a business perspective, but then you have these like mass platforms that like are spinning in very different directions, right? And so like, you know, there's obviously some gradation and nuance to this, but I just don't. If Ozempic is humans getting smaller and more nimble, so to speak, there's like a movement going on of serious business people being like, I want to be thinner too and more specific, right?
The Ozempification of business is definitely going to be you just coined a term.
Like luxury fashion and luxury media have always monetized status and like these sort of, you know, the niche nature of it, right? And like the internet made them pretend to be mass. And I think that's like what's going on is people are realizing
they just,
like, let's stop pretending
using
to
their
be mass.
brains. They just got duped. And then again, like the information economy is different from the entertainment economy. But anyway, it's
make fewer better things for the people that care, right?
Well, this was everyone got seduced. This is now 20 years ago by the Google like global scale thing, right? Being like, ooh, you can be free and reach everyone. And like that's actually cents on the dollar. Like I'd rather just be Grant's interest rate reporter.
And it also it can compromise the quality of your product. It's ironic because I was really inspired by a line that I think was cited to Brian Chesky, but I don't know if he was the first to say it. But he's like, I'd rather be loved by 100 users than liked by 1,000. And I'm just always...
I think that's a Kevin Kelly, actually.
Yeah, it's probably not Brian Chesky, but he was the vehicle that information was delivered to me. And I've just always believed that very deeply. And smart people in the media business have always thought I was stupid.
To be fair, in the early days, we've all been doing the internet since the beginning. And in the old days, early internet, you just couldn't monetize any other way, right? Like that's the thing you have to kind of remember, right? Like even when I was building Path in the early 2010s, it was incredibly hard to charge a subscription for anything in most countries. And today you can monetize 7 ways till Sunday with your own Stripe integration or Substack or
and
whatever.
The costs
like that's
down.
only like a last 7 years thing, you know? Yeah, it's like really difficult to monetize any other way than distributing free and then try to capture with ads or something like that was like the only way to do it.
I don't think it was hard back in the day. I think people just didn't believe or hadn't figured. I mean, it's definitely gotten easier.
I don't know, Jess. I was building a business in that time period, and like as an app that wasn't a game in the App Store in the 2010s, you couldn't use the App Store subscription unless you were a game. right? And so there was no
It's
other
gotten
way to
easier.
monetize.
I also just
I see your point, Dave. It's a good point.
it's gotten easier. I just think it's like an interesting one. I think the really interesting thing is, as with most things, there just seems like there's absolutely no middle class anymore in this stuff, right? You're either like targeting the 1% and you can make a ton of money by charging a lot to people who really care, but it's small, right? Relatively speaking. Or you're like a completely fucking global mass platform. Like, I think the unsuccessful strategy is in the middle, right? Where like, and like, that's just an interesting signature of what businesses can be built. Like, you can't build like a moderate scale business anymore and like have a successful long-term strategy.
Ever?
I think it's gotten harder. I think the answer is like what moderate scale is also shifted, but I don't know. I feel like everything has just become very binary.
I have a great business mentor of mine years ago. I mean, this is like early 2010s, said to me, like, always build a business that either does one of two things. You want to charge a price insensitive customer an extremely high price because they're price insensitive and they don't care. Or you want to make $1 million of something and charge $1 for it. You never want to be in the middle.
No, I think that is
you don't want to be in the middle.
I think that's broadly sound logic and always has been. I think it's just more like clear, and I think it's even more true now than it was before because like we just have there's no tolerance for like imprecision in this, right? Like it's kind of
or perhaps maybe what you're saying is that it's extremely true on the internet now, whereas we thought maybe in like the 2010s that this wasn't maybe true, that maybe there was a middle zone.
Or it's just like, that's the thing about technology in general is like, it's just, it is accelerant to everything, and everything that is true in a frictionless environment becomes instantly and more true, right? So there's no like friction in the system that like protects anything, right? So you just end up with these extremes.
Okay, we solved it, guys. We know exactly the future. No notes. No notes. Brett, I think we covered your pop culture corner. Do we want to return?
Well, there's only one more thing to put out there, which I know we've been talking about Sydney Sweeney a lot, the last few episodes.
We did.
Guess who she's being rumored to date now?
Some old guy.
No.
No?
Someone
Scooter
we all
Braun.
know.
Oh, Scooter Braun. Yeah, sorry.
Also,
sorry. Instead of saying old
guy,
I had a different negative association. Well, what do you think Taylor thinks about that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's a lot to uncouple here. And, but it does mean that we're 1 degree closer to getting Sydney on the pod, though. So Monday, she'll become our guest. Yeah.
That's one video pod that will do better than the audio pod.
Yeah. I think we're climbing in the YouTubes. I don't know.
Sam will go shirtless too, just to convince her.
I'll trade her.
Two, Britt. Sydney
Gotta
Sweeney,
keep it interesting for the people.
You can be clothed on our podcast. In fact, we might insist that you are. Okay, friends. Well, another episode draws to a close in a big, busy week out here.
Is it busy?
Football starts this weekend.
I think it's busy, Sam. I think the Google thing, the Anthropic fundraise, the OpenAI M&A, I know these are small things. I mean, I live in a bubble of technology business news, but it feels busy. We've got
I'm kind of with Sam. I think it's fake busy.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, no. I think it's real busy. There's a lot going on. The next 2 months are the craziest months of the year, for sure.
Well, that's
conferences.
Generally true. But
for
what are we talking
making,
about? Time, or are we talking about this?
I love Britt's obsession with deal making. You're like
Britt,
into deal making.
You kind of want to be a secret banker.
Maybe I do.
You would not have pegged Britt.
You don't want to be a secret banker. You want to be a secret lawyer. So you can make all the money. I will say, in closing, in terms of law stuff, I incepted on Twitter a few days ago. I was like, I really want people to build me an AI service where I can just sue people constantly, like small lawsuits, like my coffee was cold type stuff. And I was like, this is the perfect AI use case, right? Because it's like you have to know how to draft it well. You got to know what court to submit it to. You got to figure out how to serve it. It's like all the things that AI is good at.
Like the parking ticket company that gets you out of the parking tickets.
It's the antithesis of that company, right? Yeah. It's the anti-get you out of things, which is it's the put other people in things on demand, right?
But then they'll start using AI to get themselves out of
maybe. But I'll tell you, I've had the greatest responses to this. Like I've two teams that are like working on it. One guy messaged me. He's like, I love this. Yeah. Well, because I just put it out there. I put it out there and people start building stuff. I have one guy who messaged me. He's like, Sam, I love this. I love negotiating, and I've gotten $50,000 from like Hertz and all these people in the last 6 months just suing them over shit. And so I'm like, there's this whole, like, I am very excited. Talk about the big market, make a little, like the M&A guys at the top of the lawyer market. They're making a lot of money with a few customers. I think that there's a whole other legal market for petty lawsuits that's just poised to explode.
I agree with you, Sam. And I think
This
people...
is a better iteration on the petty crimes conference,
It's
Sam.
like, could you imagine, like, you go to the bank, the line's too long, sue. It's like salad, it's like a little overdressed, like sue. It's like if there was
used to be you send off a nasty tweet like Delta, I'm delayed again. Now you just
the airlines are definitely going to get sued.
By the way, if there was a version for more money where you can do a class action lawsuit, you got the real ball. I mean, there's so many options.
I like it. It'll go out and buy the ads to get the class action together for you.
If someone wants to pitch me I would venture invest in class action lawsuit bot, right? Because it's like clearly the future we have.
What about the defense? I would venture invest. I don't venture invest in outside of media, but in the defense
you invest in all of it. You invest in all of it.
Both sides.
Of course you do. That's
one of them's going to win.
It's just like defense contracting. I build the weapons and I build the defense to the weapons.
I could be making this up, but there are companies that help you cheat with AI, and then there are companies that help you identify whether someone has cheated with AI.
100%.
Yeah, it's the same with recruiting. They make AI resumes and then they screen for AI.
That's
resumes.
literally that's what we have with standard aptitude. Is like half of the pitch is like anti-AI cheating. But yeah, this is my point. The entire thing with AI is it's a great way to sink money and power and compute into a war with itself that produces no value. Right.
Wow.
And so, like, we should just follow it to its logical conclusions.
Bubble, bubble, bubble.
It's not a bubble. It's just like a war of like burning computers to war with themselves with no net change.
OpenAI ultimately loses this race.
We're not just burning cash. We're burning silicon and servers.
Well, we're just like burning the
and
environment
metal.
just so we can have law bots sue each other for
look
nothing.
at woke Sam is worried about the
I'm
environment.
not.
Everybody.
I'm just pointing out reality. Okay,
We
guys.
started with the court saying AI will save capitalism, and we
Yeah.
ended with Sam saying AI-powered petty lawsuits. That's where we are, you guys.
It's a good snapshot of
It's
the
the
moment
future.
and of Sam's brain. Okay,
The
friends.
whole arc of the American economy in one podcast.
We do have to wrap. We do have to say thank you for listening this far, for supporting,
No one
for
listened this
sharing.
far.
Oh,
We have parents and siblings.
No, I
who
got
probably-
actually a long, nice note from one of our listeners that listened this far last week.
Guys, a
so
strange
I
number of
appreciate it.
people listen to this, and I'm probably way too honest given that. But, so here we are. This is where I get worn down in the week. We're happy to be here. We're happy to serve. Send us ideas, and we'll
I don't
see you next week for another episode of More or Less. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this show, please leave us a virtual high five by rating it and reviewing it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Find more information about each episode in the show notes and follow us on social media by searching for @MoreOrLess, @DaveMorin, @Lesson, @JLesson, and as for me, I'm @Brit. See you guys next time.